It's a place where I love to be. Look in a book, here's a story for you. Who makes stories when the day is through? Who makes stories when the day is through? Story makers, working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous, stories are fun.
Webster Wordsworth.
Jelly and Jackson,
working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous, stories are fun. Come and be a story maker.
Story makers. Story makers. Story makers.
It's midnight in the library. Hello.
time for all story makers to come out. Are you ready?
The sun is down, the stars are bright, story makers come out at night. Hello, I'm Webster Wordsworth, magical musical story maker with stories at my fingertips.
Look at it, Jelly.
Yes.
Oh, hello. There's something very fun in the library tonight. It's a bubble machine. The children were playing with it earlier.
Yes, yes, and it makes lots and lots of beautiful bubblets.
Bubbles, Jelly. Bubbles.
Yeah, that's what I said, Jackson. And they're so dreamy.
Cha-cha-cooler!
Oh, it's Webster.
Cha-cha-cooler. Hello, Webster. Look. It's a bubble machine.
Wow, fancy that. I love bubbles. Oh, we'd better turn it on. Are you ready? Ready?
Yes.
Steady.
Steady.
Go.
Go.
Oh, it's working.
Here they come.
Look. It's very fast and they're shiny.
Yeah, and floaty.
Look.
Webster, you've caught a bubble on your hand.
It's my bubble pet. I bought a pet bubble at the bubble pet shop, and when I took it home, my bubble went pop.
I wish bubbles didn't go pop because it's too sad. Yeah. Jackson, what are you doing?
I'm trying to send a bubble to the story machine.
Oh, that's a good idea, Jackson.
Yeah.
We could make a bubble story. Come on, let's waft.
Waft?
Yes. Push your hands gently away from you like this and waft.
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 Ruff.
Waft.
Ruff.
Waft.
Ruff.
Waft. Waft.
Waft.
Waft.
Into the machine.
Into the machine.
And now we need lots of imagination to make a story.
Yes.
Will you help?
Imagine a story. Here it comes.
It's a Kevin the Spaceman story.
And it's called Bubble Planet.
Kevin and Spanner in space to explore, seeking out planets never heard of before. From far out in space, Kevin had noticed what looked like tiny clear balls floating up from this planet. Kevin was keen to investigate further. There were hundreds of the tiny balls everywhere, and they were making a strange popping noise. Spanner sniffed the balls and thought they smelt like soap. Said Spanner, who was a little unsure and didn't much like soap. They're bubbles, said Kevin. But where are they coming from? Replied Spanner, who didn't really want to find out. A bubble popped on Spanner's nose, and he was off, desperate to get away from the bubbles. Spanner, wait, called Kevin. You'll get lost. Kevin chased after Spanner, popping hundreds of bubbles as he ran. He followed Spanner up what looked like a volcano, which was erupting gallons of bubbles. But once they got to the top, there was another surprise in store. Suddenly, Kevin and Spanner were lifted off the ground and were floating slowly back into space. But they weren't in their spaceship. We're trapped in a giant bubble, cried Kevin, as they saw the ground getting further and further away. Help! Help! Shouted Kevin. Yelped Spanner. Just then, out of the side of their bubble, they saw a flapping of orange wings and a very sharp beak.
Bubble-bursting bird at your service,
announced the bird and poked his pointy beak into the side of their bubble. The bubble burst. Kevin and Spanner fell back down toward the planet. Luckily, they landed on the soft carpet of bubbles below. More bubbles burst, but at least their landing was soft and foamy. Whew, sighed Kevin. Echoed Spanner, who didn't think much of this planet. Well, at least we won't need a bath tonight, laughed Kevin, as Spanner shook off the bubbles. He didn't really like having baths.
That was a lovely story. And what are you two up to?
We've been bubble-bursting birds.
But I thought you said you were sad that bubbles had to burst, Jelly.
Well, actually, Webster, it's very fun to burst them.
This floor's very wet and slidey.
Oh, yes. I'd better turn the bubble machine off. It's getting very slippery.
Oh, no, Webster. No, don't do that.
Jelly, have you hurted yourself?
Yes, I hurted my foot, and my other foot, and my arm.
Wait a minute, Jelly.
And my hair. I hurted my hair. And my shoulder feels up when it should be down. And it hurts when I go,
Dr. Jackson will make you feel better, Jelly.
Yes, good. But what is that?
This, well, it's a head checker. Yes, it's to check that your head's on the right way, Jelly.
Yes.
Now, just hold still.
Do you know how it works?
Well, no, I don't. Maybe I should put this head checker in the story machine. In it goes. Now, will you help me? Imagine a story. What's it going to be? It's a blue cow story. And it's called Blue Cow Goes to Hospital.
In a field not far away is a herd of cows grazing quietly. One of the cows is most unusual. Blue Cow wonders about the big world beyond her field. One day, Blue Cow heard an ambulance siren in the distance. Oh, I wonder what it would be like to go to hospital. She's off again, said the other cows. So Blue Cow caught the bus that stops beside her field. I'd like a ticket to a hospital, please. There you go, madam. Hold very tight. And they set off for a hospital. And then they arrived. Blue Cow was standing by the doors of a huge hospital. She looked down, and on the floor was a white coat and a stethoscope. "Moo! Someone must have dropped them," said Blue Cow. "I think I might just try them on." Blue Cow put on the white coat and stethoscope and walked into the hospital. Inside, it was very busy, with doctors and nurses rushing about and lots of people sitting and waiting. A woman wearing a uniform ran up to Blue Cow.
Right. Hello, I'm Nurse Georgia. You must be the new doctor. Hurry up and start treating patients. We're understaffed as usual. Oh, hang on a second,
started Blue Cow, but Nurse Georgia rushed off.
Well, surely it can't be that hard to be a doctor,
said Blue Cow. She walked into a cubicle, and inside was a little boy and his mum.
Hello, I'm Dr. Blue Cow,
said Blue Cow.
Hi, I'm Ralph, and I've cut my knee in the garden.
Blue Cow looked at Ralph's knee, and it was bleeding quite a lot. Blue Cow didn't like the sight of blood and started to feel a little unwell herself.
Do you think you'll need stitches?
Asked Ralph's mum. Blue Cow looked at Ralph's bleeding knee again and started to feel very dizzy.
Oh dear,
said Blue Cow.
Oh.
When Blue Cow woke up, she was in a hospital bed with a bandage on her head.
You fainted and banged your head,
said Nurse Georgia, who was standing by the bed.
You'd better take the rest of the day off, Doctor. Absolutely,
said Blue Cow. She stayed in the hospital all day and had a lovely lunch in bed.
Oh, I'm a much better patient than I am a doctor,
laughed Blue Cow.
Oh, you'll never guess where I've been.
Where have you been?
I've been to a hospital where there was a doctor and a patient.
Everyone knows cows can't go to hospital. But we know they can, don't we?
Yeah, I liked that story. It made me feel almost better.
Yes.
But what would make me feel really better is if I had something tasty to eat, like Blue Cow.
Ah, that's all the slippery bits mopped up.
Oh, that's good, Webster, because Jelly slipped over and hurted herself.
Yes. And what would make me feel much better is if I had something tasty to eat.
Well, I'm sure that can be arranged, my little jellykins.
Oh, my favourite!
I feed one to you, Jelly, because you're still a little bit poorly. Open wide. Ow! Oh, you bit my finger!
Sorry, Jackson.
Oh.
I didn't mean to.
Don't worry, Jackson, my friend. We'll put a bandage on it for you.
Yeah. Oh, can I do it?
Oh, yes, of course, my jellykins. Now, you wrap it all the way around Jackson's finger.
All the way around.
Jelly, I don't think you're making my finger any better.
This is Jelly. What are you doing?
Don't worry. It will all be fine.
I'm all wrapped up.
Yes.
No.
Ta-da.
Don't worry, Jackson, my friend.
Oh, but what happened to the bandages?
Oh, it's over there. There it goes. And now we need a little help from you. Here goes. Imagine a story. It's a playbook. And it's called Polly Poppy.
My name's Ben, and this is my dog Poppy. She's a bit poorly, so I've taken her to an animal doctor. Call a vet. Poppy's a bit scared.
So to bring her through then, come down the corridor with me.
Here's the vet, and guess what? The vet's my mummy.
Off we go.
Mummy puts Poppy on the table so she can see her better. Then she checks in Poppy's mouth to see if it's sore. She's got very sharp teeth.
You don't brush your teeth, do you, Poppy?
And a long pink tongue. But Poppy's mouth isn't sore. So Mummy feels along her back to check that her back isn't sore from jumping around too much. Poppy's got very silky ears and a silky furry coat.
No, her back isn't sore either, Ben.
Now my mummy's checking her legs. She thinks one of Poppy's legs may be sore.
Okay, Ben, we're going to have to take an X-ray of Poppy's legs.
This machine looks inside Poppy and takes a photo of her bones. It's called an X-ray. First of all, Mummy needs to give Poppy an injection to make her sleepy. Mummy then takes the X-ray picture of Poppy's bones and puts it on a light box so I can see. Look, there's Poppy's knee. Oh, and her leg. Mummy says that Poppy strained her leg, so she bandages it up. Round and round and round. Blue for her toes. And red for her leg.
There's red very comfy.
Red's very, very comfy.
Mummy says that Poppy will be able to play with me again in a couple of days, when her leg is better. I love Poppy.
Poppy was a very brave dog, wasn't she?
Yes, she was, Jelly. Oh, and Jackson's being very brave too.
Oh, yes, I am, aren't I?
Well, if you're very brave, Jackson, why are you whining?
Because it's nearly morning and we have to go soon.
Oh, but I want to make some more stories.
Don't worry, Jelly. We'll be back to make some stories soon. But now, my little treasures, dawn is upon us. The morning is nigh. We've made our stories and we bid you goodbye.
Story makers, working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers,
Goodbye for now.
Come back and see us soon.
Goodbye, Story Maker. Thanks for helping.